We had hoped to bring you an exclusive interview with Nigeria's Minister of Information, but we simply cannot get a straight answer as to whether he's going to turn up or not, having pledged to do so. We continue our conversation with Nigeria's Nobel Laureate, Wole Soyinka. Mr. Soyinka, again, we have tried to get the Nigerian government position on this, and we've tried to give them a fair shake on this. They simply won't come to the table to engage. And it's a problem. And you called the president out and criticized him for not confronting this and not talking to the nation for 3 weeks until he finally did this weekend. Boko Haram, you just talked about the leader of Boko Haram. What did you make of the swaggering, glib, gleeful laughter of this leader when he just sort of appeared, face uncovered, to the world and said he was going to sell these girls? Just give me your impression psychologically of what he's up to.
Most bullies, whether on a small scale or on a national or international scale, they bluster. They do more of the same thing when they spy a community, it's a nation or a state, which is on its knees, which doesn't confront them directly. It's a normal condition.
So he's laughing.
Yes, if you remember, when the first, well, not the first, I don't even know how far back one should go.
Well, it's been going on for a long time. The world suddenly got interested because this is 276 girls who were taken all at once.
But before that, when the United Nations headquarters were blown up in the capital of the nation, you want to go further back, when the extreme Islamists literally sacked the capital, you know, under President Obasanjo, because they claimed that religion was offended because there was a beauty contest going on there. There have been numerous instances like this. And when Yusuf was killed, if you remember, a former head of state went on a mission of appeasement to Boko Haram family, asking virtually on his knees, please forgive and forget. But these were killers. I mean, those who killed the leader should have been punished, yes, but you shouldn't go and appease killers.
Now, with these girls, the longer this goes on, the fact that it's so public now, what do you think is going to happen to these girls? Are they all together? Do you think? Have they been split up? Will they be sold? What do you think? I know nobody knows.
I made a statement during the World Book Fair in which I said, confront the reality. It's painful, it's horrifying. I said, these girls are going to be sold as sex slaves. I used that expression. I said, let's not beat around the bush. We're dealing with a monstrosity. We're dealing with an affliction the like of which the nation has never encountered. Understand that you must go in quickly. You must act rapidly, because these girls are going to be traumatized in a way in which is going to blast the rest of their lives. When they're retrieved, I said, start getting ready experts who will assist them psychologically to get over this phase. So this charade we were watching, this gleeful obscenity we just watched from the leader of Boko Haram, is something which anticipated. It's shocking to see it, but it doesn't surprise me. That's nature of what these people have made themselves into.
And do you think it's right, the reports we hear about the First Lady of Nigeria criticizing activists who've been protesting in the streets and basically accusing them of bringing bad publicity and criticizing her husband's government?
I've made public statements about this woman who calls herself the First Lady of Nigeria. I don't want to say anything more about her.
So, okay, I won't push you on that. There are many, many people who look at, for instance, neighboring Uganda, where we had Joseph Kony, the Lord's Resistance Army. They also took girls for years. It was going on for years, and it took years to get them back, except for instance, that famous nun, Sister Rakele. I don't know if you remember, but in 1997, she followed them and brought at least some of them back. 30 remained. This has been going on for a long time. It's afflicting different parts of Africa.
I've called attention to Joseph Kony.
And by the way, Joseph Kony is a Christian monster.
And I'm very glad you mentioned it, because I have mentioned Joseph Kony, a number of lectures, as a parallel to what is happening now. So that it's to tell these Muslim fundamentalists that they shouldn't take pride in bestiality, that the Christian side also knows it. The issue is not religion. It's that fundamentalist fascism in which you feel that it's an act of domination, You prove what power you have in the environment, in the little pond, where you're operating. It's the same mentality entirely.
And for a long, long time, Nigeria as a whole wasn't as exercised as everybody is right now. We saw this stuff happening. It didn't affect the whole country, and the whole country wasn't up in arms, and they weren't demonstrating in the streets. Has this abduction changed the Nigerian people, and what does that mean for the government, particularly for these upcoming elections?
I think anyone at all with a humane trait in his or her makeup has got to take this government to task on any level. Because there are many things which could have been done. And I've stressed this over and over again. Abduction, terrorism, suicide bombing, these are very difficult situations to deal with. But they're not unique. And it's easy to anticipate, especially if you're running a country and you have any sense of history, it is very easy to anticipate in what direction this will go. So those who are coming out in the streets now, they've always been conscious to some extent, but didn't realize how soon the enormity of the action will catch up on them. Now, if you like, the worms are turning. Where it'll end, I do not know, but one thing is certain. The president and his government cannot sleep easy after what has happened to Nigeria. It is not possible. Any other pretend or real indifference or denial has ended. I'm convinced about that. But also, the situation is now beyond the capacity of the government. That's why I say the situation must be internationalized.
All right. Wole Soyinka, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
You're welcome.